welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I am your host, DBoss, and this show has been brought to you today by Vance World Media, and his production studio is up in Scarborough in Toronto. So if you guys want to go there, you can just look up Vance World Media, and you can go do all your production there. But today, I got a real special guest and a real special woman here today, and she's going to tell us about which I don't know about, and she's going to have to educate me about stuff. So we have a lady called Leslie Ann Coles, and she is the founder of the Female Eye Festival, and it's FeFF. So with no other further ado, I introduce to you Leslie Ann Coles.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's great to see you.
Great to see you. I still see a blue reflection in my face on the screen, but I know that's just my weird lighting.
Okay. You have the Caribbean look with the sea.
My white ass. I don't know.
All right. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Female Eye Festival?
Sure. So the Female Eye Film Festival takes place June 9th to the 12th at TIFF Bell Lightbox. And it is our 20th anniversary edition. So we come from 2001. We held our first event. We missed 1 year in 2004. So it's our 20th anniversary edition. We show films directed by women from around the world. And we have a script development program that's open to both men and women. We have a lot of panels that are free for people who want to learn about the film industry, learn about where to get funding from our public funders. We have script writing workshops for screenwriters. So that's free. We encourage people to come out and listen to some of the screenplays that are being read by actors. And we are looking for actors still for some of the script development, script readings. So if you're any actors out there who want to come and do a table read at the Female Eye, contact us at the Female Eye Film Festival.
Okay, so the Female Eye, you said always honest, not always pretty. That's your theme.
That's our tagline. Yeah, that's our theme.
Your tag, yeah. So as a female, director, and you're putting this together. So what kind of challenges did you have, if any?
Well, always the challenge. We're a not-for-profit organization. So the challenge for us and for many independent film festivals, of which there are many in the GTA, is funding. We all go to the same arts councils for funding. We tend to go to the same industry people for funding. So that's always a challenge. In the early years, it was really getting bums on seats in the theater. There was this stereotype or stigma that prevailed when it came to women directors, and that was that they made chick flicks. So there was this automatic assumption that women were making light, fluffy, frothy films. And they do. They make romantic comedies, but they also we have a great late night thrills and chills program on Friday and Saturday night. So we also have dramas and sci-fi and action. So a lot of the women write their own films. We found over the years, 90% or more of the women who direct their films also write their films. So that's been pervasive throughout the last 20 years of the festival.
So this is something that it's a festival. So do they pay to go in this, or is it?
We do for the tickets, but we keep our tickets really modest. We offer a 15% discount to seniors and students. I think they come in at around $15, and the box office take a percentage, Ticketmaster, and then we get, so they're not $25 tickets or $30 tickets. Okay. We try to keep them reasonable so that people can come and see films that they won't see outside of the Female Eye.
Okay. So you have other people. So you're voted the top 50 films worth the entry, correct? By Movie Maker magazine.
Yes. Wow. That was for the how many years in a row? I think it's been For the 10th consecutive year in a row, the Female Eye was voted one of the top 50 film festivals in the world worth the entry fee by Movie Maker magazine, which is one of the oldest trade papers out of Los Angeles, California. And every year they populate a list. And there are over 100 film festivals in Toronto alone. So we were really excited to once again be voted one of the top 50 film festivals in the world worth the entry fee. And that's for filmmakers and screenwriters who submit their content, and it's also for people who want to see independent cinema.
So then you have another thing here. You got a Best in the Biz tribute.
Oh, yes, we do.
You got a lot of things under your belt there, Leslie.
We do.
You're forced to be reckoned with.
So yeah, so every year we honor a notable woman director, and we play. This year we're celebrating Valerie Bahajar. She is from Toronto. She's originally from Malta, and we're opening with her film Carmen, which is so fantastic. And it was actually filmed in Malta. And then we're doing a tribute to her on Saturday, June 11th, I think. And we'll show clips of many of her other films and then discuss them, and then show another clip and discuss that film. And so it's a really engaging conversation with the director.
Oh, so you did some films in Montreal, my hometown.
Cool.
You did a lot there, and so tell us a little bit about that. What you
did. The films we're showing from Montreal?
Yes.
The Kissing Game. Great film from Montreal. We have a few films from Montreal. Every year we do. They're, if they're French language, they are delivered in French language and subtitled.
Oh, so you actually put them in French too?
Yeah, we do. All foreign films come in their original language, and then we subtitle them.
Okay.
Yeah, even French Canadian films. To honor the language.
So you've done films. I'm assuming that you've done films all across Canada.
For sure. So we are international, but we have a great showcase of films from Canadian filmmakers. As a matter of fact, there's so many independents in Toronto that back in the day, our first event in 2001, we didn't have a lot of time running in. I thought about doing an event showcasing women directors, and that was in August. And then we produced the first event in November. So our reach wasn't far and wide. So we had a lot of Toronto filmmakers, and I was astonished that there were so many women directors in Toronto. And so we had the Toronto Filmmakers Series as part of that event, and that stuck. So this year we have a really great Toronto Filmmakers Series on Thursday before the opening night gala. So, really great short films written and directed by local filmmakers.
So all the films, so when you're in your thought, you're so busy. I don't even know when do you start to think about all these creatives, like at night, or you just go up north, or how do you put together your stuff?
That's a really good question. Because I'm also a filmmaker, and in March I was in production with my film The Curtain, which I'm acting in. I'm also an actress, and I'm directing, and I wrote it, and I got funding.
You're an actress too.
I am. I threw myself back into acting a few years ago. So I wrote it, and I'm directing it, and I'm in it, and it's crazy. And I have one more day to shoot, but I had to table my film so I could just focus on the Female Eye Film Festival. So that's what I'm doing right now. But how do I do it? Well, yes, I do go north every summer, end of June into July, and I do my writing and I do my relaxing there. So I have a process. I'm a little ADHD, so I find I can do a lot, but when I'm doing one thing, I try really hard to focus just on that one thing. And then I can move like a spoke of a wheel. Like I can pick up and drop things, quickly, and move right and then move left and up and down.
So you're having a glass of wine or
yeah. For
No,
sure.
because some people, you know, how they come up with their creative and how they think and how they do stuff, it's a little different, right? So, you
I
know,
find
that's why I always like to ask people because, oh, maybe I'm just driving in the car in the countryside and here something comes and I just pull
yes.
over.
Yes, it's true. So some of my best thinking is actually in the car. So actually on my way home from an appointment in the city, I was gunning it to get back for my interview with you, and I thank you for your interest in the festival.
That's no
And
problem.
I write poetry and prose because it's quicker than writing a script, and I haven't written for a little bit. And all of a sudden I came up with this poem prose. It's very poetic and rhythmic, and I literally turned on my recorder on my phone so that I could record it and remember it, and then I'll transcribe it and I'll share it on Instagram on my Snow Girl Poet handle. So yeah, things come to me like that too, just kind of out of the blue, um, when I'm really not even sometimes thinking about trying to create something or build something.
Or you'll wake up in the middle of the night like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always trippy. And I think a lot of creatives come from that place. You know, we all work in different inspiration, different sources of inspiration for our stories. I think that you spoke to the tagline, always honest, not always pretty. And it came to me about 10 or 12 years ago. We were talking to a marketing firm, and the art director asked me, you know, you have short films and experimental films and feature films and documentaries, and it's a whole smorgasbord of really eclectic films. And what is one common theme, one common thing you could say about all the films? And I said, well, they're always honest, but they're not always pretty. And that's where the
mm,
tagline came from.
wow.
And I think it speaks to women too.
No, but no, but how do you, so how are you keeping yourself above the grain of everybody else and as a woman? And then you said you didn't realize that there are all these women. So now how are you keeping, because you keep winning all these awards, which is wonderful. So how are you keeping above the crowd and above the grain?
I don't, you know, it's a good question. I don't really think about myself like that. I really
Wow.
don't even really think about that, actually. I've always maintained the perspective that there's enough room for all of us. And if there isn't enough room at the table, we'll build a bigger one. Um, so that's kind of the way my brain works. So certainly, you know, it's a very competitive industry. And the way to keep up in terms of caliber of work is to, if you're an actor, jump into an actor's studio. If you're a screenwriter, learn the craft, take a screenwriting course. There's all kinds of programs, part-time education programs. There's a lot of good teachers out there who work in script writing, who are masters at the craft. And there is a formula. There is a way to write a script. And our script development program, you know, is very competitive, and we get a lot of screenplays. But if it doesn't look like a script and it doesn't read like a script, it reads more like a novel, or we can't program it because it's not a
Oh.
screenplay. So one of the ways is certainly constantly learning. I'm always about learning and just trying to become, you know, better at my craft. And I think that's just the only way forward. You know, you have to dedicate yourself to what it is that you want to do. And certainly the festival's taken me away from my work over the
Hmm.
years. It was actually during the pandemic that I wrote a feature Western screenplay set in 1873 with a very diverse posse of women outlaws, by the way. And
Woo!
yeah, and it's won like 12 international screenwriting awards. In 2021, I just kept putting it out to international screenwriting competitions. I kept winning. And now I'm going to Banff after the Female Eye, and I'm going to be pitching it and taking meetings.
So what type of movie would you like to do that you haven't done?
This one, a Western. I want to do an action film.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the idea. We'll keep that so you could see what's happening. So for you, what type of when you cast your all the actors, well, how do you go about that process? How do you say, okay, I think this one's going to work, or do you just have a whole set of people come and then you just figure it out, or
Um, Different ways. So the script development program is a lot like casting. So the script reading thing that I was talking about, we have main scenes from the screenplays, and then there's characters. And then we ask the writers, give us a character breakdown, like a basic character breakdown. Male, 40s, Black, African American, woman in her, 20 to 30, Caucasian, whatever. So there, and then there's a brief description of the
okay,
character, a brief character description. But a lot of it is cast, and I hate to say it, but our industry by and large is a lot cast by look and talent, but there is a lot about that in the casting process. So if you have a kid that looks a certain way, you're going to cast a mother that looks similar or looks like they could possibly be their birth mother or not. Um, so sometimes I personally write where I have actors in mind, or I definitely have a strong idea about the character. And with the pandemic, what happened was a lot of the casting went online. So, like this, talent who auditioned for my film they Zoom taped their audition, they self taped their audition, and then they sent it to me. And then I watched tapes and then would have a meeting with talent that I thought was good for the role or that I really liked. And it's really an intuitive thing. When you see someone and you see them reading your words and you're seeing them embody the character, you just kind of know. You're
mhm.
just like, yeah, well, that's it.
Well,
I don't.
do you take a lot of people that, because a lot now, like a lot of the entertainers and stuff are being cast for actors and actresses
Yep,
in actual movies because they can sing and they
yep,
can do a lot of other stuff. So
yep.
are you take those too?
Sure. Yeah, and most of the directors do. There's a lot of directors who work with people who have come from an eclectic background. They don't. A lot of people who aren't what you would call professional, professional actors.
Right.
Um, I'm an actor member, and so I did produce my short film with actor members and apprentices. And actually, I worked with one non-union actress, but I paid for her permit so she could be in my film, and she got a point towards her union status with ACTRA.
Okay.
Hmm. It's
So
complicated.
but it's a lot of work. You guys, a lot of people say you guys don't get to sleep. You don't. You're so busy. How do you have how do you balance your personal life from out, because you're always got to be creating and doing and thinking. So how do you balance that? Like, okay, you know what? I'm just doing this today and that's it.
Yeah, like the other day, I took the whole day in the garden. I just went threw myself into dirt for like hours. It was great. It was so good. And then I barbecued. It was fab. I find ways to just give myself I pace. So even though I was on the computer for like 14 hours the other day, vetting the program guide and watching the making of the trailer for the festival and all kinds of other things. I promised myself that I would get up and move around every hour or every 2 hours max, like no more sitting, get up, move around. So I would just get up and go and do stuff, because I'm working out of my home. So I see dust, I clean it. I go out in the garden, I come back in, whatever.
Oh,
Did laundry. I did laundry. It was great.
all right. So what more are we going to be expecting from Leslie Ann Combs in this year? I know you said
Well,
the Western, but is there anything else?
hopefully I'll finish my short film, The Curtain, and that will start hitting the festival circuit. It's a short film, probably just under 20 minutes. It's not
Okay.
edited yet. I still have to shoot one more day, but I'm going to keep writing. And The Female Eye is certainly a big one. It's 20th. It's the 20th anniversary, so that's huge. All I could think of was, wow, 20 years. I'm 20 years older. That's what I thought.
Well, you're seasoned.
I am
Very
seasoned.
seasoned.
Ah, yes, I am. So I'm really excited about that. It's the 20th anniversary. It's a good year moving forward. I feel blessed. Um, you know, to be here. There's a lot of craziness in the world right now and shocks me every day.
I
Um,
know.
and I pray, so hopefully, there's light at the end of this dark time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there are there any shout outs that you want to give anybody or any people?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Woo!
Sasha Stoltz, my publicist for the festival, and she'll be working with me on my films. Valerie Bahajar for graciously letting us open the festival with her film Carmen. CK Love, who is handling script development this year. Humber interns. I have interns every year who intern with the Female
Wow.
Eye towards their graduation. Alyssa Richards, Tanya Nenk, Data. Oh my God, there's so many. Antonio Passare, who's handling print traffic, Tiff Bell Lightbox for welcoming us as a third party festival. We're now a third party festival at Tiff Bell Lightbox and have been since 2019. So that's really great. Um, my mom for sure, who's still with us, who, really encouraged me as a little girl when I was unable to sit still in the classroom to be in dance and theater. And she just completely encouraged my creativity and my activity in that area. So I'm very grateful. I'm shutting out my mom.
All right. So if everybody wants to reach out to you, or you could just tell us about the where they can find the event, or if they want to reach out to you on social media, they want to be a part of your script writing or anything,
For
where can they
sure.
find
You can find us if you go to femaleeyefilmfestival.com. Our contact information is there. You can find me on Instagram and my team at Female Eye. And I've got a couple of handles on Instagram. Leslie Ann Coles, I think, or is it LA Coles? I can't remember, but it's either LA Coles or uh, yeah, I'm there. And
you?
we're on Facebook as well. So yeah, you can. But if you want to email us, the best way is to go to that email address that's on the website.
Okay.
And look
Well, Leslie, it's been really great, having you on today and talking. And I want you to come back and tell us about, all the other stuff you're having because, people like my viewers and everybody like to see what's happening because they'll say, "Oh, what happened to her?" You know.
right, right,
So
right. No, I'd love
then
to come back.
I gotta follow up with you and find out what you're doing because once you keep yourself trending, which
Yeah.
you're doing, but the other people who don't know about you will want to be trending with you also.
Cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to sitting with you again. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me. And June 9th to the 12th is the Female Eye Film Festival at Tiff Bell Lightbox. Come and
Yeah,
join.
well, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna try to come down there too and see if I can
Oh,
come
you
down.
let me know. Email. Let Sasha know. Let Sasha know.
Yes,
And come as my guest.
yes, I will. I'll come down there because I haven't been anywhere, so I got to go out.
I think you'd really love the films. I think you'll really dig the films that we show at the festival. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All
I
right.
thank you, Leslie Ann Coles, for coming on tonight. And I do want to thank the viewers for watching Real Life Matters. So everybody, so bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.